Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Amara's Kitchen. Thank you all for tuning in. If today is your first time on this channel, do not forget to click on the subscription button and turn on the notification bell and give this video a thumbs up, give it a like. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you guys so much for coming back, for your support. So guys, today we'll be making salmon fish. Yes, I'll be showing you guys how I make my salmon recipe, seafood. Let's get started. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little minute to introduce all the ingredients I'll be using to you guys. Starting off, I have my mushroom. So this is chopped up mushroom. I already washed them and chopped them to the size that I want. And the next is the vegetables. I'll be using some red, yellow, orange and green bell pepper. Use any colors of your choice. I'll be adding some pineapple. Yes, this is chopped up pineapple that I bought and peeled at home. The next is onions. I'm using white onions or yellow onions, whichever onions you have, even the purple one, that's fine. And I have some spring onions, also known as the green onions. The next, I'm using one large Scotch bonnet pepper, garlic and ginger. So the next in line is the butter. So I'll be using some butter. You can use just vegetable oil if you prefer, but the butter gives this food a little bit more flavor. So this is my spice. You can use any spice of your choice, but I'm gonna be putting the list of the spice that I'm using up there in case you want to have that as well. So the salmon fish that I'm using today is the sachet one, pink salmon fish. You can use any kind of salmon fish you have available. Go ahead and use that. So this one has it came with 8 pieces inside of it, just the way it is in the sachet, 8 of them in the bag. So you can use any salmon of your choice. Like I said before, you can also substitute this with geisha, not geisha, like the sardine fish, which is also known as the mackerel. You can use that if that's what you have available. So guys, you can use chicken breast, whatever you want to use for this recipe, you will still get the same result. So let's get started. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So also I'm using some spinach. So this is baby spinach. I washed them, put them there so the water will go out. I don't want any extra water into this recipe. So these are all the ingredients. Let's get into the cooking. So here I have my pot. My stove is already on. So the pot is heating up right now. It's a skillet pot. There is nothing in it. There is no water at all, no oil, no nothing. So I'll start off by adding the butter. So once it's dissolved, so sometimes when you melt your butter, it kind of burn, it changes color sometimes. So for you to prevent that from happening, I usually add some oil. So I'll be adding extra virgin olive oil. I'll go ahead and add about 1 tablespoon or so, just to stop the browning process. Yeah, it really works. So if you don't want your butter to keep burning or browning more than you want it to, just go ahead and stop the browning process by adding a little bit of oil. So I just sprinkle in some salt and also black pepper. Yes, black crushed pepper. So I'll go ahead and stir everything up together. So the color that you're seeing that is changing right now is not from the oil burning, it's just the black pepper that is changing the color right now. So the next, I'll go ahead and add the garlic and the ginger that I shredded. I did not use all of the ginger that I showed you guys earlier. I just took as much as I wanted. and put the rest back in my freezer. So once everything is properly combined, so just stir them until they are well combined together, I'll go ahead and throw in my 3 salmon fish. If you're using chicken breast, you can do that at this point as well. So I'll cover that up and let it sit. After 2 minutes, I came back, so I let it cook on one side for 2 minutes. So I'll go ahead and flip them over. While I'm doing that, being careful, very diligent, you don't want to break the fish. Nothing is gonna go wrong if it breaks, but you know, you just want to have it in a hole, you don't want to break it. So just being a little bit careful will help you achieve that. I'll cover that up for another 2 minutes. Here we are. So after 2 minutes, I went ahead and brought them out of the pan. So I fried them on both sides, 2 minutes each. So I'm trying to bring this one out, but it's kind of proving a little bit stubborn. So, but I'll just, you know, use my spoon and just scoop them out. Yep. So in the same skillet pot, you don't have to like change the pot or change the oil or anything like that. So just go ahead and add your chopped up onions, whatever kind of onions you're using, the purple onions, the yellow onions, white onions, just go ahead and add it at this time. And the vegetables as well. The peppers, that is the bell pepper, whatever color you're using, red, yellow, green, whatever color you have, just go ahead and add that and stir everything up together and cover that and let it simmer for like a minute. So after a minute, sorry, the flames kind of covered up the camera. So after a minute, we are back. I'm gonna go ahead and add the tomatoes. I know I did not introduce the tomatoes to you guys when I was showing you guys all the ingredients I'll be using. Yeah, I kind of skipped that, I forgot about it. So I added some tomatoes, chopped up tomatoes. So I'll go ahead and cover this back up again to let everything simmer for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, we are back. Yeah, whenever I open the pot, the flames kind of cover the camera up, but it clears up after a couple of seconds. So I stirred everything up together. Now it's time to add the Scotch bonnet pepper. I chopped them up roughly. So you add your pepper to your taste. If you want more, fine. If you want less, that's okay. So here is the list of the spice that I'm using. Like I said, feel free to use any spice of your choice. So after adding the spice, just stir everything up properly together. So I'm adding my spring onions, which is the green onions. You can add more or you can add less, depending on the quantity of the fish or the chicken or whatever you're using. And the next, I'm adding my pineapple. So guys, this pineapple brings this recipe to a different level. You don't have to skip this part. You have to get some pineapple to do this recipe. It was amazing. So guys, I'll go ahead and cover that up again to cook. So it's gonna simmer and the pineapple will release its juice into the recipe. So it was amazing. So while I'm waiting, I'll go ahead and roughly chop my spinach. I almost say Spanish. So I'll go ahead and chop up the spinach roughly. You don't have to like cut it too small, no. Just roughly cut it into pieces, large pieces, and then we are back. Just like 2 minutes, we are back. So this recipe is very easy, simple recipe. I'll go ahead and give it a taste to see if it's at the point that I want it to be right now. And it was perfect. It was amazing, guys. So the next step, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my mushroom. Yes, I add the mushroom towards the ending part because you don't want to overcook these vegetables. And this recipe was done in less than 30 minutes. Some recipes can be very time consuming, but this was a very simple recipe you can put together in less than 30 minutes. So I added the salmon fish that I already pre-fried a little bit, 2 minutes on each side. So I'll just go ahead and add everything back in there just like that. So you can also add any vegetable of your choice. If you are not a fan of mushroom, you can add any vegetable that you like, that you prefer. You can definitely do that, okay? So I'll let it cook for like a minute. After a minute of the mushroom, so I went ahead and just stir up the fish a little bit just to make sure it's not sticking at all. Although the pot is not sticky pot, so it's not gonna stick anyway. But I just want to make sure I stir them up a little bit. So I'm adding my spinach right now, and I cover that up. Once the spinach gets soft, just like that, you don't want to overcook it. Nope, you really don't want to overcook any of these vegetables, especially the fish. I fried the fish for 2 minutes both sides, which is total of 4 minutes, and when I added it, I cooked it about 2 to 3 minutes again total. So it didn't take that much time at all. The fish is completely cooked, the vegetable is cooked. So at this point I'll go ahead and just cover that up and turn my stove off. And here I'll be eating this with some parboiled or boiled potatoes. So this recipe, like this fish, you can eat this with anything of your choice. For example, you can eat it with white yam, with rice, with plantain, ripe or unripe plantain. You can even just eat this just the way it is without anything. It's very nutritious, very, very delicious as well. So the stove is off like I told you guys earlier, but because it's on a hot surface, it's still kind of boiling. So what I did was just to take it off the hot surface so to stop the cooking process. And my potatoes are all ready. Turn the stove off as well. Time to dish them out. So guys, like I was telling you guys, you can use any stuff to eat this. Yes, it's just perfect. It's amazing. You can eat this with whatever you prefer. So actually, after I made this, the next day I used this to eat rice. Oh my goodness, when you have a bite of those pineapple that I added, oh my goodness, this might be one of your favorite dishes. If you try this out, you might want to do this more often. So it was so good. I can't say that enough. It was amazing. So look at that, it's looking so good. So this is optional. You really don't have to do this. I'm just adding some cheese, a little bit of cheese. Like I said, it's completely optional. You don't have to like do this, but I just feel like, you know, I like cheese, so I feel like drizzling in a little bit of cheese over the salmon fish while it's still very hot, because it's gonna melt down. Just a closer look, you can see the cheese are already melting. So after a couple of seconds, everything is gonna be completely melted because the food is hot, so it's gonna melt. So guys, please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click the subscription button, turn off the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Yes, like the video, I would really appreciate that. So I can't go without digging in, guys. I just have to give this a taste to know how good this is. As you can see, the fish is not dried at all. It's still very juicy inside, but not saggy. I don't like saggy salmon fish that is very saggy all over the place. No. So that's why I decided to fry that a little bit with the garlic, ginger, onions, and whatever that I added in. So guys, this turned out to be so good, so delicious. Look at that pineapple. Just take a bite of it. It's so good. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate your time, spending your time with me, and I hope to see you guys on my next video. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and click the subscription button, turn on the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys on my next video. Bye. Thanks for watching.